Lovely to see everyone. It's Suzy Walker here, Psychologies magazine, our lovely, beautiful issue this month. Have you read it yet? With a lovely ruby wax on the cover. I'm here today with Lucy Griffiths. Ray!
Hello!
Lucy, to see you. Lucy is our Psychologies columnist. Is an award-winning video producer. She is an all-round superstar. She's been on a jet with President Obama and interviewed him. Journalist. Hello, Lucy. So lovely to see you today.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Lovely to see you.
Great to see you too. So today we are going to be talking why setting goals in a global pandemic might be the best thing you've ever done. Because Lucy, you've got a really interesting story, haven't you? So not this time round, but you had your own personal lockdown when you had your son. Tell us a little bit about that and what happened.
Yeah, so 4 years ago, I was looking after my son. I was sort of trying to figure out what to do. I was on maternity leave and my son got hand, foot and mouth. So he was in quarantine for 3 weeks and then I got hand, foot and mouth. So it meant that both of us were in quarantine for 6 weeks. And it took me off the hamster wheel of sort of, well, it was motherhood, but also of life, where I literally had to work out what I was going to do from a kind of, how I was going to figure this out and navigate what I was going to do next. And then from that led me to me setting up my own business. And so when you get that space, then you can work out what you want to do and how you're going to make the changes. But you have to allow yourself the space in order to get creative about what you want to do with your life.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. Almost what these crises do, they act as a catalyst, don't they? So if we can reframe lockdown, I mean, I know it's been a pretty rough year for many of us, but if we can reframe it as an opportunity to re-scramble ourselves, and the things that we normally do, the habits have all been thrown in the air. So in the space in between, it's about, okay, what are we going to focus on? How are we going to focus differently? What do we really want? So I think it's an opportunity to sort of, take every, there's a thing with this lockdown is people who, are very, very busy in the evening, whether it's night school or it's seeing friends or the weekends, and all of a sudden that's all fallen away. So you have time with the children or time with partners and work. If you're not on the front line, bless you. Thank you very much, NHS.
Yes, thank you.
And all our, support workers are out there. But for many of us, it's a month that's very, very different. So in terms of creating a kind of a different focus, I've got lots of opinions about this, but how do we do that? Well, how do you do it, Lucy? How do you create a kind of a new, okay, this is what I'm going to focus on in this lockdown?
So I think the most important thing is getting that space, so going for walks and allowing yourself to think, what do I want to do? So going for a walk or meditation. Meditation is my big thing I love. And allowing yourself, if you don't meditate, listening. I love Pure Rasa on YouTube.
Yes.
And just allowing yourself to operate in a different space. So guided meditations, doing some yoga, something where you can open up your creativity and that thinking about what you want. So you can ask yourself, what do I really want? And just
that question of what do I really want? I mean, I think what I see our readers doing, my coaching clients when I used to coach is they put this whole thing around what they can get. What do I really want? What do I think I can get versus what I really want? And then when you open it up to actually what do I really, really want, and allow yourself to, because people kind of put a limit on it because they don't they don't want to be disappointed. They don't want to think, and also all the beliefs that they have running, that that's not possible, that I'm not good enough, I'm not clever enough, I'm not what enough to do all of that. But it's just one of the exercises that I always do with with the readers and with the clients is the whole thing around La La Land. So I said, listen, if I was your fairy godmother, I could wave a wand, you could create anything you want to do. What would it look like? And then describe your day. Imagine that I'm the editor-in-chief of Psychologies and I'm coming to interview you about your day. And what does it look like? How does it feel? What does it smell like? Who's with you? How do you start your day? How do you end your day? All of those things. And it allows you to get into a kind of fun, creative space. It's not about setting goals, but it allows you to throw it in the air and go, okay, if this was just a game, what would I really create? And what I see with that, and over the years, it's amazing what people do. Lucy, what are you going to say?
No, I want to say that Suzy and I, as well as having this chat now, we have created a course, and Suzy has done this exercise in the course about La La Land, and it's honestly such a game-changing moment, this to ask yourself that question. And when I did it, like going through, I was like, and you can create the most amazing inspirational things. And just Suzy asking that question just makes you think, what do you want to do? And so it's just such a wonderful thing. And Suzy has, I know I'm biased about this course, but Suzy has created the most amazing course about this very subject. Anyway, sorry, I digress, but I was so excited because it's
fantastic. Yes, do. But well, if you want to have a look, it's Create the Life You Want. .com. The links are up there. Hello. Not very good at this selling business. So the La La Land vision is getting kind of clear what it is that you absolutely really, really want, and it's such a fun thing to do. But then what happens, Lucy, is that we talk about it in the course, the inner gremlins, the inner pessimist, the inner critic, all of this comes in. All of these things get in the way. They sabotage us. I mean, big thing for me is doubt. Sometimes I'll have this great, and I'll have this kind of attack of the doubt of, oh.
So I'm really curious to know from Suzy, obviously you have this amazing career, this amazing life, but you've had some challenging points in your life, okay, and you really have, and you've overcome them. When did you sort of discover La La Land? What was the moment for you when you discovered, like, oh, this is a way that I can reframe and rethink my life differently?
Okay, I think for me, it was very, very early on. I mean, I talk about my backstory, which is I lost my parents when I was a teenager. So for me, it was in such a dark place. The world that I knew had been taken away, been flattened. And all of a sudden I had to reach for something. I had to find something. And I started doing sort of self-development books, and there was Anthony Robbins, Louise Hay, all the self-development greats. I kind of grabbed hold of the light in the darkness. And I suppose what that has done, in terms of Psychologies, that's my message to everyone, is that we all suffer great trials and tribulations sometimes, and it's really, really dark. I mean, really, again, and you feel very alone, and you feel, I can't do this. And for me, that reaching for a new vision for my life, that it saved me. It literally was like, okay, I have a place to go. And it's kind of my thing that I repeat over and over again to as many people as I possibly can, that no matter how dark, and I know how dark it can get, there is hope, and there is a way of reaching up and finding a way to navigate. It's not easy, and it's up and down, but if you have a vision, if you have a kind of an exciting, that's what I'm aiming for. Almost it gives you something when you're in the doldrums, and when you are scuppered by doubt, or all of those things, you've got somewhere to kind of daydream and to get excited about and think, this too will pass, and I will get through this, and this is where I'm headed. This is the place where I'm going. So, this La La Land vision, maybe it resonates for so many of the people who are doing the course, which is brilliant. It's because it comes from a very, very authentic place within me, because I know that it gave me hope and gave me a place to head for. Yeah. So what about you? I mean, in terms of you just done it again, what, when you've been doing self-development, you're a very accomplished journalist, you've done stuff all over the world. So for you, when you're setting goals and you're creating a vision, what I heard you say there was like you're opening up, meditating, all of those things. But when you're attacked by doubt or the inner critic or the inner pessimist, what do you do?
Okay, so we all, I want to say first of all that we all have an inner critic, like everybody, it is totally natural. And I remember my yoga teacher, this is in Thailand. I used to work and live in Thailand, and I was at this yoga center I used to go to, and there was lots of building work next door. And the building work, it was, the noisy diggers and drills and all of that horrible noise. And we were all lying there meditating. And my yoga teacher said, enjoy this noise because it makes you go within. And so for every challenge, every negative critic, you recognize that, but see it as it's clouds in the sky. And your brain is blue sky, but you have clouds. So you can push away those thoughts and you become conscious of them to push them away. And if you gently just say, thanks for that, but I'm just going to focus on this for right now. Those voices are there to protect you, but you're just gently pushing them away so you can focus on your vision. And I find that as a way to just be like, okay, thanks for that, but I'm just going to put you over there so that I can just get on with what I need to do.
Yeah, I mean, you're totally right. I mean, on our back page, I don't know if you can see, we've got Pema Chodron, who's one of my all-time inspirational gurus. She's a Buddhist nun, but she talks about, she still gets triggered. She's practically enlightened, and she still gets triggered, and she says, "Oh, goody, I'm triggered," because it stands to practice. This kind of taking your focus. So it's a very enlightened way of looking at it, is like we all get that. So it's about the two voices, or there's the blue sky or the clouds. What are you going to focus on? And that is, that is in this global pandemic, what we're dealing with is, we have a choice, and it's what are we going to, we're all in it together. And we have a choice. What are we going to focus on? So, I know you and I are focusing on, let's create the life that we want then. Let's do
yes.
Which is great. This is what we want to do, create the life that we want. What about, for me, when I'm feeling, normally about 4 p.m. is my worst time. I'm kind of tired and perhaps not drunk enough water, hungry, crabby. And that's when I have my doubt attack. And then it's like, okay, well, what am I going to do with that? Am I just going to get grumpier and so I can go for a walk or go have a sleep or all of those things, and then focus again on the bigger vision? And that's what I want to do. So it's about how we focus.
And it's recognizing, like I tend, mine is hormonal. So sort of once a month I get my period. And so I had an evening a couple of nights ago, and I basically found myself mainlining sweets. I was stealing my son's Halloween sweets, and I was like scoffing them. And at that moment I go, okay, I think I'm due on my period. And so it's having that recognition to go, okay, you can put the sweets down, and it's hormonal. And then immediately it's like, okay, I'll go and do something more positive. But it's at that moment when the voices start coming in and you think, I'll reach for something, the sweetie jar or whatever it may be.
And I think in those moments, again, it's in those moments, it's having, so it's mantras or statements or beliefs or new programming to put in.
I'm going to get something, 1 second.
Okay. So for me, it's like, that I'm not good enough. Oh, this is a rubbish idea. My inner critic pulling up those things. Oh, what's that, Lucy?
So this is, I love this. Okay. So when I'm having because my thing for me is emotional eating. So when I have that moment where it's like, oh my God, I need some sweets. I use this is my cookie jar of love notes. And so what I do,
because I've got one, I've got a box.
So, and then I write all of my dreams and aspirations on little hearts. So one of these was, I'll see if I can find it, but one of them was, you're a Psychologies columnist.
No way, is that true?
Yeah, it's true.
You haven't told me that before. Okay.
Yes. So, but anyway, so I look at these. So I then go and read one of these, and then it makes me go and do something else. It sort of resets everything. So this one is, you sit, actually, this one is just looking after myself. Go and sit on the sofa and have a relax for 5 minutes. So it's just things I don't do to kind of reset me. So anyway, the cookie jar.
Just to remind yourself, because when you're in the grip, when you're in the grip of that inner critic, and when they're like going for you, it's finding those kind of tools. I've got a box very similar that I use, that I just take all my, I've written a letter to myself. Dear Suzy, if you're reading this letter now, you're probably in a really dark space. Remember, and then I call it my evidence wall. I list all of the things. Now, remember this about you. Remember when that happened and you did that. And it's a really good sort of just to remind us, oh yeah, this is just me feeling a bit rubbish. And then again, focusing, and then ask it. And at the end of the letter, I say, and what do you want? What do you want to create? What do you want to do next? And that is so important, I think, is again, how are we going to focus? So thank you, Lucy, for today. I know we've run out of time. I think we've only got 15 minutes and we're already over time. But thank you so much today. So if you want to take our quiz, the link is below. Create the Life You Want quiz.com is below. We've just
it will help you get you sort of Suzy's course, and her quiz and everything is amazing. Suzy is just the goddess. So she's amazing.
Well, it'll be fun. Lots of people are saying really great things about the course. So do come and join us. Create the Life You Want quiz. Just do the quiz first and then see where you go from there. Lucy, thank you so much. You are creating the Life You Want, which is really, really cool. And I will speak to you soon. I'll see you in the next. Lots of love.
Bye.